everybody. It's Marcus. Hey, I have had the opportunity over the last couple of days to spend some time with a lot of different agents in our different offices. And I can't even believe it, but we are currently about 8% done with the year already, which is kind of crazy. We think we have the rest of this year, which we do. We have 92% of the year left to make a monster difference in our goals and what we're going to accomplish this year. But if you think about it, being 8% done with the year already, it's crazy to think, are we already making a significant impact on our goals for 2019? And one of the things that's been really exciting for me is I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of agents over the last couple of days in personal conversations and group settings. Is I've been really impressed with the level of energy that you as agents are bringing to the table and your commitment to your goals for 2019. Something that as I kind of thought about that, as I've reflected on the energy that's being applied towards our goals for 2019, it made me think of a personal story and an experience I had a long time ago that I wanted to share, particularly because it's not only about bringing energy to your goals, and particularly for a new year. It's not about bringing new energy to those goals, but it's about the application of that energy and making sure that you're applying it to the right things. So the experience that came to my mind, and it's interesting to me. I hadn't thought about this experience in years, but when I was 16 years old, I was either 15 or 16, but for the legality purposes of it, I'm going to say I was 16 because it has to do with me driving. And I want to say I had a license at the time, but it may have been when I was 15. I worked for my dad's construction company, and we had a job going in Nevada. And I remember my dad coming to me and being like, "Hey, I need this dump truck delivered to Nevada to this job site." And I had just recently learned how to drive a stick shift, and it was interesting. The guy that was riding with me was well into his late 20s, but didn't know how to drive a stick shift. So I was like, I'll do it. I'll drive it. And so I remember getting in the dump truck and starting the trip out to Nevada. And it was really interesting to me. Someone was bugging me with the drive because, I'd work my way up first, second, third, fourth, into fifth gear. And as I got into fifth gear, we were only able to get up to about 45 miles an hour. We'd hit 45 miles an hour, but the other gauge, the RPM gauge, was redlining. I could tell that we were just putting a ton of stress on the engine, but we were in fifth gear, and I didn't understand. We were putting all this stress on the engine, but we weren't quite getting the momentum because we were barely making 45 miles an hour. Well, we did this for a while. I could tell the engine was overheating, and I finally pulled, and this is back in the days, no cell phone. So we finally got to a gas station, and I remember calling my dad, who owned the company at the time, and I said, "Hey, I don't get what's going on. I'm in fifth gear. We're barely hitting 45 miles an hour. Engine's overheating. We're constantly pushing our RPMs." And my dad kind of laughed on the other side of the phone. He's like, "I forgot to tell you, that dump truck is a split transmission, which means you work your way up second, third, fourth, fifth, and then there's a little switch on the stick shift that switches over to a whole nother transmission, and you go all the way back to second gear where second gear was, and it actually takes you into sixth gear, and you work all the way up to the ninth gear." And so here I was pressing and overheating the engine, putting all this energy into getting there, but only able to get to 45 miles an hour when there were really 4 or 5 more gears available to me to get rolling. How that applies to this conversation is I feel like a lot of agents right now are really, they're putting all this time and energy and effort into their new goals, which I love to see. However, I'm worried that over time, some agents are going to burn out on their goals because they're not putting the energy into the right activities that are really going to catapult their results into 2019. Keep in mind on the stick shift, for me to get into that split transmission and go from fifth gear to ninth gear, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, was only a minor tweak on that stick shift. And realistically for me, all it is a small shift in your energy and your focus for 2019. 2019 to really help you blow it up. It's not about applying twice the amount of energy to duplicate your goals. In most cases, it's only a shift of how you're applying that energy. So a couple thoughts that I thought are really relevant for us to think about as it pertains to the application of our energy for 2019. Number one is does your time blocking match your goals for 2019? Did you deconstruct and reconstruct your calendar and time blocking back up to match your goals for 2019, and just making sure that you've really committed to protecting your time? And that goes for both your personal time and your business time. Second piece of that is really thinking through your dollar productive activities, because I'm seeing a lot of agents, we're hustling, we're spending a ton of time, but are we really spending the time on the most dollar productive activities? Because what I don't want to have happen is for you to apply all that extra energy and your RPMs are maxing out and redlined, while your speed and velocity is only hitting about that 45 miles an hour like I experienced in that dump truck all those years ago. So number one, if there's anything I can do to help you reapply that effort and energy in the right activities, or if you have questions about how to apply that energy, know I'm available for a chat. I'd love to help any way I can. But one thing is for sure is I've had these conversations with all of you agents and really looked at your goals for 2019. Man, I'm just proud to know you guys, excited about where you're going, excited to be part of your success, and really looking forward to a huge 2019 for you guys. And thanks for joining me. Look forward to chatting with you guys next time.